Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Tate and welcome back to my channel. As this video goes up on another lovely Tuesday, that is Tele Tuesday, I wanted to take a look at various Telecasters. That just kind of happened. I got this idea, I've seen other videos like this in the past, and I just wanted to take a bunch of Telecasters specifically, and I wanted to see just on what I found if I was going to either play it or pass on it. And as my deep collection of videos on YouTube would obviously tell you, I'm a huge fan of Telecasters. I think it's, a very classic design. It can be used in a number of different ways. Of course, you can configure them all how you want. And of course, just some quick history kind of the Telecaster. Of course, they were made by Leo Fender. They were among the first, if not the first if I recall right, first mass-produced electric guitars coming into the 1950s. And then going into the 1960s, the idea was that the Telecaster was going to be phased out by the Stratocaster. However, and as we've seen through all sorts of time in music, the Telecaster never went away. It is here to stay, and thank goodness it is. Before we do get started on this video, I do want to showcase a couple Telecasters from some people that I am familiar with in some way, that their Telecasters that I am going to show here 100% would definitely play on these, or at least would love to get a look at them in person, because, pictures are one thing, seeing them in person's another. Okay, this first Telecaster I do want to showcase from, again, someone I'm familiar with. This is from Guy Menezes in Mena, Arkansas. This is why I think Instagram is awesome for connecting with other musicians. I literally just was scrolling around, a page had posted or reposted something of Guy's here. This is awesome. Guy, I know I got your approval for this in advance, but I can't thank you enough for what you do and what you post on your socials all the time. It's always awesome to see what you post. Guy sent me quite a bit of info on what he's put into this guitar. I don't think I could summarize it in any sort of concise fashion, so I'm posting here what Guy gave me direct on that. Essentially, if we are to make this a short form explanation, Guy has taken a mini guitar kit from StewMac, and he has heavily modified it to his liking. And again, he's always posting really cool stuff on his Instagram. I would encourage go checking out Guy. If you're a guitarist or not, if you're not a musician at all, I would still encourage you go check out Guy on Instagram. He just started this year with posting on the site, and I look forward to every single post that Guy does playing this guitar and talking about the gear he uses, because it's awesome. Okay, another cool Telecaster design that I wanted to put at the start of this video. This is actually a John 5 signature Telecaster. Of course, if you know anything about what I've done on this channel, I love those. I have one of the production ones that I bought used, and then there was one I just recently completed. That was a bit of a build project using just the baseline body, and then I kind of added the parts as I saw fit. But this particular J5, it's a build project by someone I know, Cullen Wallish. What he's basically done with this, and as he told me, was it's obviously a J5 body. It was the stock J5 body that was loaded and had no strings on it, no neck. He added a baritone neck to it, and then, of course, strung it up appropriately with his own strings that he wanted. He specified to me that this is tuned to an open drop G, if I remember reading that right from the message he sent. He's got a clip or two on Instagram of him playing this, and it sounds pretty damn cool, I must say. And why I'm also really into this as well, especially this baritone conversion he's done with it, is I'm also in the midst of building my own baritone guitar, using, again, a various collection of parts and such. Still working on that project, but now, even after completing my gold J5 build and then seeing Cullen's baritone build here, I really want to get my own baritone done now so I can get around to making stuff with that. Fingers crossed that we don't have any more wacky weather in Denver to keep me from getting around to painting it and doing the clear coat and then doing all the final hardware assembly. Cullen, you're making me envious that I don't have my not my J5, but just my baritone build done. I want to get it done now. Hopefully that'll be soon. Alright, we're going to get into the rest of the guitars now. Again, these are just a collection of images that I pulled, and I'm going to say, yep, I'd play on it, or nah, I'm going to pass on it. So I just gathered some various Telecasters and such, or Telecaster style guitars. Again, maybe not something that's made by Fender or Squier. Some of these are actually listings that are, I believe, still active online, maybe. If that is the case, I will do my best to link those listings in the description of this video. I may come back and fix that up later as needed. And of course, if anyone either knows or owns even any of the Telecasters that are shown in this video, and you know a lot more about it than I maybe will in this video, certainly drop a comment wherever you're watching this. I would love to include more information in the description, again, or even the pinned comment later on as needed. Okay, interesting one for starters. This is not a Fender, though Fender has actually started with their 2021 line. They have introduced a Telecaster that does have a Floyd Rose bridge on it. I like that this is humbucker. That's typically what I like in a Tele. Well, in really any guitar, period. You know, other than the Floyd, it's a pretty easy interpretation of a Telecaster. Ultimately, though, I am going to pass on this one just because I know what a pain in the ass Floyd Rose bridges are. I've never owned one myself, but I just know from people who do own them, they always say doing the strings on them and other sort of maintenance is, you know, it's a bit of work. And not that I'm not afraid of a bit of work, it's just Floyd Roses are tricky, so that's why I'll pass on this one. Okay, this is an immediate yes, I'm playing on it. This one is a listing, and again, I'll link that in the description. This is someone in Russia who has made a Telecaster out of, I believe it's the shells of iPods and iPhones. And if you're wondering how this was put together, yes, there is a build process video. Interestingly enough, on the sides of this, you see this, and it's all the, you know, kind of the backs of the iPods and iPhones. And on the sides, though, he's sanded and cut everything to smoothness, but it's still the shells where you can actually kind of poke your finger in there, maybe. I thought that was interesting. Maybe something like that, you'd usually see it as maybe something that was filled in with epoxy. Not that that's a bad thing here. I actually think that's still really cool. And I love watching videos out there of people who, you know, will go and build full guitars from various odd and wacky materials, and obviously not your typical kind of wood stuff. I think this is cool. I would definitely play on it. If, again, me being picky as I am, if there was also a humbucker hardtail bridge version, definitely would play that. But that's really cool, and I think it's a cool design, or, you know, cool way to interpret guitar from another piece of technology. Okay, I love it. Immediate play on it. Yes, playing on it. I don't know where this came from, but obviously someone got the inspiration to make a giraffe pattern on a Telecaster. I think that's cool. I love this design, just because it's unusual, but I think when done right, you can incorporate really cool ways of animal patterns onto instruments. So this one's a definite yes, I would play on this. Okay, this next one I'm kind of puzzled by. It's not a Fender or Squier. It's an Ibanez. I'm passing on it. I know, like, my baritone build, it has an offset Telecaster body myself. I'm not even sure if this is supposed to be taking inspiration from a Tele body. I'm not sure, but I'm not quite feeling it. Also, the electronics looks like it's kind of in a odd placing. Of course, you got a switch. Okay. You do have a volume pot, which kind of would be on the pickguard. The tone pot, I believe that is, it's on top of the output jack, so I'm not quite sure, unless I maybe had a good look at this opened up, what it would look like. But I kind of find that odd. I don't have a problem where the output jack is placed. I don't know, this one doesn't strike me too well. I don't feel I could get away with doing a play it or pass it video on Telecasters if I did not include the Fender Acoustasonics. These were an interesting line of guitars that Fender introduced, where they now have not just a Telecaster, but they also have a Stratocaster and now a Jazzmaster style Acoustasonic. Basically, it's, you know, meant to be an acoustic guitar. I'm not too much familiar with these. I haven't watched too many videos on how these work, per se. Obviously, it's got a single coil on the bridge, and I understand there's a piezo under the bridge. I actually think this looks really cool. I think they have a couple other paint jobs for this. This is just kind of the first one I found or grabbed. And from my understanding, they're about as thin as your usual electric Telecaster. So they're not the, you know, kind of bigger bodies of acoustics. but from some of the sound demos I've listened to, I was actually quite impressed with these. Not something that's definitely in my typical price range if I were in the market for a Telecaster, but I definitely think it's cool. But ultimately, I would play on this. I would give it a go. I think it'd be fun. Okay, hopefully this next one shows up good on the actual final video here. There is a lot going on this wood engraving. A lot. That's very impressive, and whoever took the time to do that, I definitely commend you on that, because that's some very intensive but stellar woodwork. I'm gonna pass. I feel this is kind of a niche, ultimately a niche thing. I could see this, very well being in a like a Christian worship kind of setup, and I've heard plenty of worship music, and of course heard many, lots of stellar musicianship on there. I think the engraving of Jesus on the cross, that's very well done, obviously, as the rest of the woodwork is. Ultimately, worship's not anything that's particularly I'm ultimately finding myself wanting to play, but this particular guitar, maybe not something I'd be owning in any capacity. Alright everybody, the future is now. I found this, apparently someone classed it as a Telecaster. Obviously not the Telecaster, the beautiful rounded Telecaster that you would normally see. I would definitely be interested to see what the use, or kind of what the use has been for this, if it I don't know, or if it's out there. It's also interesting, you got the controls on the underside, kind of where your typical output jack would be, instead of on the face of the guitar. I'm gonna put this one as a maybe. We're gonna create a maybe category. I feel like this one could go either way. I'm not quite sure. It's an interesting concept for sure, but kind of more on the wonky side of a design for sure. Okay, what the hell? Okay, I can understand why I'm not too much of a fan of the relic designs, where they're kind of, maybe they look a little beat up and they're meant to look that way. This is not. This is not. I don't think this is a relic. I think this is a poor Tele that maybe has seen some harder than usual time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say on this one. It's a pass. So this next one's one I kept seeing pop up a lot as a ugly guitar. This is a Zeus 6 from Kiesel. I have no experience with Kiesel. I have, furthermore, no experience with any headless instruments. Obviously, you got your tuners at the bridge, and no headstock at all. I don't think this is ugly. I would play on this. This looks cool. I like, of course, it's a humbucker. I love it already. It would be a definitely interesting experience for sure. Definitely be cool to see what other options are out there, say for this, or maybe if there's like 7 or 8 models. Okay, these next 2 Telecasters I did just kind of want to put together. Coincidentally, it looks like I just pulled images from the makers of some Canadian companies here. I think it's definitely cool that from a design standpoint that they found, a piece of wood that had the company logos and stuff ready to go, and you could shape it again into a Telecaster body like many other designs already seen. However, I automatically will pass on these on principle, just because I have nothing to do with alcohol at all. Again, and this could go for any, sort of brand like that if they had the shipping container made into a guitar, not just a Telecaster. Definitely would be cool maybe as a collector's piece or even a play piece. Definitely not something in my wheelhouse. Hey, look at this dumbass with an 8-string Tele. Who the hell does this? Why would you take a classic design like the Telecaster and have an 8-string version of it? Such an immediate pass. Get away with this filth. No! No. Pass. You do not do this to a Telecaster. Again, we've already kind of seen some weird ones, but no. This is so wrong. I don't want to know how this was done. Again, it was probably some more intricate, belt sanding and woodwork and stuff, and such. It feels like, they made the cut, they painted it, and then it was like, obviously not what acid might do to this, but that's the immediate vibe I get, or it's like a really obscure puzzle piece or something. I don't need to say anymore. From my understanding, this is just someone who took a scrap piece of wood and put kind of a Telecaster style setup on it with a kind of pointy headstock that kind of looks like a claw. Wait, hold up. So you got the 6 inline tuners, and then you got the 6 tuner for like the high E string hanging off the other side of the... What? No. I didn't realize when I saw this at first that was the case. Still an immediate pass. This is an interesting one for sure. This Telecaster looks like kind of, or where these cuts are, it's been hollowed out, and then I would have to imagine they, for each of these, cross patterns, they had to, warp the wood that they placed in there accordingly. This kind of makes me immediately hungry for pastries. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting off this right off the bat. I feel like if I would play this, I would definitely play it, but I'd also feel like if I were playing this on a stage, I'd have to have like little pastries next to me just to match this. Just like take a pastry bite between songs and such. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Okay, there's a couple things to unpack here. Gold hardware, cool. Nothing wrong there. Looks like those are the lipstick pickups in the neck and the midway point. I think that's interesting to have there. And then there's a humbucker in the bridge, definitely cool. Pickguard's not your typical kind of Telecaster shape for a pickguard. The thing that makes this kind of an immediate pass for me, and I don't know if someone made this as like a troll design or something. You got Abraham Lincoln with a boombox on his shoulder. Why? I get it's trying to be outlandish, but the whole Abe Lincoln boombox thing, that's definitely interesting for sure. But you could replace this. You could take the boombox out. You could replace Abe Lincoln with any U.S. president. I still would think this is equally as weird. That's a pretty strong pass for me on this one. Okay, we got another HH Tele here. Love it already. Typically with my Telecasters, I do like when the headstocks match. I'm not totally strict on that. One of my Telecaster style guitars does have a headstock that does not match the body. It's a Michael Kelly guitar, and I like it. And this is equally as cool. Yeah, not much to say on this. It's a beautiful guitar. I'd play on it. Okay, this next one, I always want to bash my head against the wall when I see this come up. This has been done in plenty other like ugly guitar videos before. Immediate pass. Another abomination upon the Telecaster. I just like that the side of the Telecaster where the neck is your typical Tele, but then they went and did the flying V like wings off the side or off the end. Why? I can only imagine that on not on one of these wall hangers, but on like a typical like floor standing guitar stand. This might be a bit tricky to do, and I would imagine that it looks like the V-wing, or the flying V shape on the end. It looks like it just hit the floor in a guitar stand, so no, pass. You cannot convince me to play this. Okay, this next one, this is really cool. I like this a lot. So as kind of we've seen already with some other ones, some engraving work going on. What this maker has done is they have engraved Mayan artwork into the body of the guitar, and then they have like a clear pickguard over that, so obviously the artwork isn't obscured. At least that's what I understood it to be when I kind of just saw this floating out there, was the artwork is Mayan. In comparison to other kind of the Mesoamerican civilizations that existed. I like this. My mother and father took a trip to Mexico where they saw some of the Mayan ruins and saw some of the artwork there, which was all really cool when they brought back pictures of that and such. The guitar nerd in me says, yes, it's cool. The history nerd in me says, yes, it's cool. I would play on this. Okay, this one looks like your normal Telecaster until you see what's going on with the sides on the body. The bottom horn, that looks like it normally would be on a Tele, but then it looks weird with the top like more carved in. No, that's a pass. Again, I could appreciate this as where could I see this? Maybe as like a wonky indie rock shoegaze guitar, maybe? I don't know. Not something might be into myself now. Okay, next one here. This is another kind of production model from Squier Fender. This is the Squier version of the Jim Root Telecaster. Of course, Jim Root of Slipknot. I'm not too quite familiar yet maybe with Slipknot, but I know Jim Root plays on Teles, and he does a damn good job playing on Teles, so I like this. From what I understand, it's a pretty simple electronic setup. It's only the one volume knob and a pickup selector. And then the pickups themselves, I believe, when you buy these new, they are EMGs. I don't have any experience with EMGs, so I can't say anything to that. But from an aesthetic standpoint, and again a hardware standpoint, it's a pretty plain looking Telecaster with humbuckers. I like it. Definitely if I have the chance to ever play on one of these, I would love to. Alright, this next one, this is really pretty. I don't know whether this was, you know, kind of like, I don't think this could have been spray painted, or if it was done over a really long period of time, or it was hand painted, and then probably clear coated over. I like it. It's a very beautiful guitar. I don't know what the flowers are. I'm not a florist, so anyone knows, let me know. I'd play on it, yeah. It's very beautiful, or at least it'd be a nice wall piece. Okay, this last Telecaster we're gonna look at. Oh, this is, granted, I'm not into, obviously, like luxury brands and Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whatever. However, I'm gonna put this as a play it, because this is actually Post Malone's custom. I think that's a custom built Louis Vuitton guitar. I didn't look into if Louis Vuitton had any sort of influence on the making of this, but there's videos out there of like Posty playing this and Jared Dines playing this. I like it. It's definitely cool. Definitely something you maybe wouldn't see on a guitar like that. In comparison, however, Stephen Carpenter of Deftones, he does have a guitar. It's also, he has it like with Louis Vuitton logo patterns on it. It's not a Telecaster, but he has one like that. I don't know which of his many guitars that is, if it's a 6, 7, or 8. So it's a definitely play, because I think Post Malone's cool. And I can definitely appreciate him bringing Travis Scott and Ozzy Osbourne on a song together. I think that was awesome. So this is a definite play, for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. Again, this was really fun looking at various Telecasters and such that were just out there. Again, I don't know. Some of these might have just made it be intentionally ugly. Others were, obviously, I thought really well done. Definitely know what you thought of these below. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts. And if anyone can point me to any other kind of, you know, ugly or beautiful Telecasters that are out there, I would definitely love to come back to this for a part 2. I think that'd be fun for sure. But otherwise, hope you are continuing to be safe in the times that be from 2020 to 2021. And as always, hope you have a great day. Look to see you in the next video.